Hello, everybody. A little special treat here. I'm doing an educational video. A lot of people talking about stop losses and how much money they should be putting in, misunderstanding what a 5% stop loss is. You only want to lose 5% of your position, and people kind of getting things backward. And so I thought I would do a educational video here describing uh, what is the only way really to understand how much money you should put into a trade and a stop loss. Uh, I just see too many people putting way too much. I mean, half of their portfolio into account, having bad stop losses, and then they wonder why they're getting stopped out all the time. Well, first of all, to have a proper stop loss, you have to understand how to read the chart right for a proper entry. This example, I have AMC up on the 4-hour chart. So time isn't ticking away every single minute. We have time. And you see people, oh, this is going down. Oh, it's starting to come up. And now here's a dip. Now's the time to get in. Look, we have higher lows. And so what do? They put in, they buy in at $36, or they'll buy right here. I'm sorry. They have the low. Now they have a confirmation candle. It gapped up. Everything's looking good. So they buy in at $38. And then they hear, well, 5% stop loss. So what they do is they take the $38, they subtract the 95% away, and that will give you your 5%, which is 36.1. So they put their stop loss in here, thinking that they're on their way up. And what happens? Boom, they get stopped out right here at 36.01. And they do this time and time again, and they wonder, this is stupid. These stop losses, all they do is, get stopped out because the hedge funds see it there, and they're, no. The reason is you got into a really stupid trade. Here's the downtrend line right here, and these dashes. This is the 20-day moving average. So you're below the moving average. It tested it once, got rejected. You're in a downtrend. Here's the downtrend resistance line, and you're ready to come in here because it set a higher low. Well, where's the higher high though? Not only that, you're underneath the trend line. Bad trade, bad stop loss understanding. 5% isn't 5% of the price that you got into. We're going to get into that in a second. So what do? Proper way of getting into a trade. Your entry point. Proper entry point is very, very important. It will keep you out of silly things like this while you're wondering why you're getting stopped out all the time. That's because horrible entry. Okay. So after it breaks, you want to see it break the trend line first of all. That means the trend is changing. So do you get in here? No, you don't. You want to have a higher high right here, a higher high and a higher low. That's one sign. Second sign, you want to be above the 20-day moving average. You want to see it cross. Here it crossed and then boom, came back down. But here, now here's one of the rules we're looking at. We crossed over the trend line. We did cross over once the 20-day moving average, and now we have a trend change doji here. Okay, this is kind of like a morning star. All right, so now we have a blue candle, and look, here's another rule. We have a higher high and we have a higher low. Or yes, right? So now all these rules are starting to come into play, and they're yes, yes, yes instead of no, no, no. Right here, now we have trend change. Broke this above the 20-day SMA. It set a higher high and a higher low. So everything is looking great. We get the confirmation candle. Boom, we're in at 35 bucks. Here we go. Okay. Now you're not supposed to see any of this, but that's the way it is. Everything looks better when you see the future. But right now you don't. You know, it's kind of looking like this, right? That's all you see. This could come back down. Oh, you know, maybe a double top here. You don't know, but again, all the rules you're going and is agreeing with you, so things are looking good. So you get in, you know, right here at $35, and then what do? Then you say, well, Ron said 5% stop loss, so I'm going to put my stop loss in at 5% under my buy, which is $33.25. Okay. No, that's not what a 5% stop loss is. Your 5% is what you are risking out of your portfolio. Okay, 5% of your investment, what I mean by that is what you're putting in this trade. Okay, that's the stop loss, 5% of what you put into the trade. And that amount that you're putting into the trade should never be more than 10% of your portfolio. Okay, so now you say, well, Ron, yeah, 5% of, you know, 35, what I put into the trade is 33.25. No, it's not. And we're not talking about 5%, you know, of solely your the amount of money you put into it. That doesn't determine that either. What determines is the stop loss. Okay. Now you said 5% of this is right here, so that's where I put my stop loss. No, that's not how you do it, guys. You look at the chart and you determine where should I put the stop loss. Okay. You put the stop loss under the previous low. That's your support line right here. Okay. Now for this example, I would look and go, okay, you want to go just under that support line, and let's just say it's $32. Okay, this is the $32 line. Well, Ron, that's more than 5%. Hold on, okay. The $32 is the correct stop loss. So the stop difference determines the amount of money you put into the trade. Given you hit your proper stop, you would only lose 5% of your, which is only 5% of the investment, which is only 10% of your total portfolio. Okay, so for an example, let's say you have $4,000 in your portfolio. So you only want to put $400 into this trade, and now out of that $400, you only want to lose 5% of that $400, which in this case is 20 bucks. Okay. So with that said, now you how you determine this is, well, okay, what's, you know, how much do I put in to determine, you know, this stop loss to where I bought is $20. And there's the question. Okay, you could sit there and do the math if you want, but what I like to do is, now there's shortcuts and I'm a lot quicker on it now, but we have it's called, this is at investmentu.com. It's just a position size calculator. Okay. Now I have this set up already, but what you can do is when you come on here, you put in the symbol that you're looking at, AMC, the entry price, we already agree, you know, you're getting in at $35. Here you have how much money you have in your portfolio. Okay, now that is $4,000. You want to invest 400 of that. You want to risk 400 of that, or put 400 in, and you only want to risk 5% of that $400. So roundabout way of doing that is just remember your risk of your whole portfolio is 0.5%. It's always going to be that way, guys. So that's the easy way to remember. Whatever you do, all you have to do is your ticker entry, your $4,000. Of course, that's going to change. But then no matter whatever it is, but right now it's 4,000, you put in 0.5%. And then you put in the proper stop loss or stop price, okay? Which in this instance is $32. So what does that do? That tells us how much we should put into the trade. Okay, it's not, I'm going to put in 400 bucks and I want to only lose 5%. You know, all this stuff. I'm trying to think incorrectly and it screws me up. You know, and I'm in at 35, and that bad stop loss, you know, was, you know, 33, whatever it was. No, and, you know, that's just the way I'm going to do it. No, you know, no. You put in the stop price, the proper stop loss price. You hit calculate, and this tells you how much to put into the trade. Now, remember what I said about 10% of 4,000 is 400. 5% of 400 is $20. Equity at risk, 20 bucks. Okay. So now it says to buy 6 shares, and you're only going to risk, your position is $210, and your equity or risk is 20 bucks. All right. So that is how you determine how much money you put into the trade. The stop loss determines how much money you put into the trade. It's not the other way around. You put in 400 and then you know have 5% of whatever you're buying, and then that's where your stop loss is. That's not the way it works, guys. You protect your money. You don't want to lose more than 5% of your portfolio. And actually, a lot wiser men than me say if you just started out trading, you should only lose 1 or 2%. And I'm being lenient with 5%. All right, so 5% of your position, which is only 10% of your portfolio. So in other words, you should never have more than 10 trades going on at the same time, because you only have 10% in each one. All right, and that protects you from multiple losses. I mean, if you have 2 trades and you have 50% in each, and guess what? If you lose on both of them, you're done. Where here, at least you can lose 10 times before you're done. See, so you're increasing your chances of winning, and you're protecting your money, and then you minimize the losses, which over time, believe me, adds up very quickly. So this is the best traders, 52%, guys. So do the math. If you're putting in, if you're trading in the wrong area, bad trades, even with the good stop loss, right here, look what happened. Boom, you would have gotten stopped out. So you have to have a proper trade plan. You have to obey the rules, wait for a downtrend line to break, wait for the 20. Wait for it to cross over the 20. Wait for it to set in, put in a higher high and a higher low. Check, 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 check. Breaking resistance. Okay, it broke the right here. You could get in right here. This is still a little aggressive. If anything, you could wait for it to break that resistance and get in here, and then boom, you make that money. All right, and you're only risking 10% of your portfolio, and you're only risking 5% of what you put into it. Risking 20 bucks, guys. And so right here, you put in $210. You got in here, and let's say you got lucky, and again with those stop losses down here, you're going through all this stuff. Boom, you made 50%. You just made over 100 bucks, guys. 100 bucks, and you don't have to be freaking out over I put in $500 and I don't know what you're thinking about losing $500. We're here, guys. You're only risking 20 bucks. And then on the way up, what do? Then it dips down, sets a higher high here, or pretty much equal. Then now you want to protect your gains, so move that stop and put it right there. All right, so now you're locking in profits. Comes up, dips down, starts ripping again. You take your stop loss, you move it up there. Comes up, starts to dip down. You could, if you want, you could have moved it up there. Usually, guys, higher and higher it goes, tighter and tighter my stop losses get. If you notice, there's just kind of a consolidation right here. This is really the previous low right here. But higher you get, tighter and tighter you want it to get, because boom, there you would have gotten stopped out right there. But you start making 30-40%, guys. This stop loss, you're coming in and you're putting them up into consolidation areas right here. Gap up here. If it gaps, then maybe I might even put it right under the gap, and you would have gotten stopped out right here, and you would have made that whole move right there, and you only risk 20 bucks. So that's the way you do it, guys. Your stop loss determines how much money you put into the trade. You don't put money into a trade and then just say, oh, whatever 5% is. That's where I'm going to put my stop loss. It's in a horrible place, and yes, the future, we know what happened here. But guys, even in a good trade, you get stopped out, and now you're out 10% out of whatever, or 5% out of whatever you put into it. $1,000 from now, you just lost $100 on a good setup, right? Where here, the stop loss determines, okay, I'm going to put in $210 because I'm only risking 20 bucks, and boom, and if you get stopped out, now you only lost 20 bucks, instead of 100 bucks. Well, that's a lot of money, and it's a lot of percentage, guys, where you can lose your portfolio really, really quick on making bad entries and bad stop losses. So with that said, guys, I hope you had a good Saturday, and enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you Monday.